Hey guys, welcome back to the Gents Lounge. We're here with Mishka, bartender extraordinaire. He's gonna show us how to set up home bar essentials. So Mishka, explain a little bit what we have here.
Well, these are the essentials of any home bar. You really need, your spirits. Let's start with these. I like this aviation gin. It's from Portland, Oregon. With gin, you can use the juniper and citrus notes to kind of make your cocktail go a little bit further. Here we have some bullet rye, which is one of my favorite ryes to work with. It's a 95% rye. As opposed to bourbon, bourbon's a lot sweeter, so when you're making cocktails and adding sugar or things that are sweet to your cocktail, essentially you're losing a little bit of flavor. Now with the rye, the sugar is going to exponentially bring out flavor as you add sugar to it.
So those are the spirits, right?
So these are the two spirits that I would suggest. There's definitely a gin and definitely a rye whiskey. If you're gonna go for minimum, this is what you should at least have. Now a little bit about our liqueurs. We have Cointreau right here, which is an orange liqueur. It is 40% alcohol. I'm sure everybody has seen this bottle. It's essentially like a really expensive triple sec, but the good thing about the liqueurs is they might be a little pricier, or just as pricey as your spirits, but you're not gonna use as much. So you're gonna go through, a bottle of Saint Germain or Cointreau. It's gonna take, a few months, maybe even like a year.
Opposed to the alcohol, which lasts 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, because in the depends on how much you really want to get after it.
Yeah.
My next favorite one is Saint Germain. I've been bartending for 5 years now, and Saint Germain is like bartender's ketchup. To make a very good, easy gin cocktail with some sort of juice in it, if you throw a little bit of Saint Germain in there, you're gonna for sure have like a cocktail that pops and makes something pretty special. It's an elderflower liqueur, really tasty. I haven't met one woman that doesn't like it. If you're on a date, it's definitely a good popper if she doesn't, drink whiskey or anything like that. My next favorite liqueur is this Luxardo Maraschino liqueur. It's really tasty. It goes in a lot of classic cocktails. And it's got a very unique taste that kind of tastes a little bit old-timey. So these are very very good liqueurs to work with, and probably the basic essentials for coming up with some pretty decent cocktails.
So what about the lemon, the lime, and the orange?
Fruits. Nothing tastes better than fresh fruit juice. You go out for breakfast or brunch. You have a carafe of fresh orange juice. It's gonna taste way better than any bottled juices. Gotcha. Because most of them are pasteurized. They've been boiled. So you're losing a lot of that fresh taste. I would say lemons and limes are definitely the most important for shaken cocktails. I really use the oranges for the citrus twist, especially with whiskey. It just, like with the rye, it adds like a nice deep kind of aroma and when you're having your cocktail. So it's definitely like something to take into consideration. Your cocktail should not only taste good, but it definitely needs to smell good as well, because it's an experience of the senses.
And look good.
Yeah, and look good.
There you go.
Absolutely. So next we have these bitters right here. Think of them as the spice rack for your cocktails. The ones we have today are Angostura and Angostura Orange. These two are essential to your home bar. And we also have Peychaud's, but this I use sparingly. Mine's been sitting in my bar for a long time and I hardly go through it. It's really good. It's a cherry anise bitters, but I would say that's a little less important than the first two.
And as far as tools for the home bar, are you gonna tell us a little about what we have here?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start off with the shaker tins. A lot of people, have tins at home, and a lot of people see at bars, the Boston shaker where you have the pint glass into the shaker tin. I've found personally with shaking cocktails that glass absorbs a lot of heat. So essentially you're gonna get faster dilution, and it's harder to control. So you're gonna be shaking less and it's gonna be diluting quicker with glass. So a guy named Toby Maloney out of Chicago invented a double tin system where you have a regular tin and then a cheater tin, and they kind of fit together, a little snug hit, and they seal up pretty tight. Double tin system is the way to go for a home bar. I would highly recommend it, especially when you're starting to get into egg white drinks, sours. It really starts. It's easier to foam up a cocktail. Get some effervescence happening on the top layer with the double tin system. Now the rest of the stuff you're gonna need your jiggers. So we have a 1.5 ounce and then 3/4, and then we have a 1/2 ounce and a full ounce right here. good cocktails don't happen by accident. You need to measure. Like, you know, it's the only way. I
It's like baking a cake.
Exactly. I use a jigger for every cocktail. You know, unless it's a vodka soda, you know, and I'm slammed on a Friday night, I'm using a jigger. They're not that hard. It's really essential to making a good cocktail. Why eyeball when you can make a fantastic cocktail with just a little bit of extra effort?
Now I'm curious, what are these?
These are our strainers. So what we do is use these to catch ice and other particles in your drinks. This right here is a julep strainer. You're gonna use this for all of your stirred cocktails to go along with your pint glass, which is another home bar essential. You know, you're gonna use this for all of your stirred cocktails. You're not gonna stir in your tin because again, the glass absorbs the heat a little bit more than in the tin. You're gonna be stirring a lot longer in this than you would in this.
So it'll melt faster.
So it will melt faster, you know, but because you're stirring it slow, it's not as quick as shaking. All of your stirred cocktails are gonna be poured out through this. The next one is the Hawthorne strainer. This is probably the one everybody's familiar with. You know, I'm sure
I'm familiar with.
yeah, you've seen these at the bars. I like to use the Hawthorne strainer in conjunction with this, a fine strainer or tea strainer. Now this is an essential, but it's a nice little touch I like to use because it really makes the cocktails consistent.
That's for like precision.
This is for precision. This is where really good cocktails happen.
That's it. That's the key.
Not just this, a little bit of work and you know in this. Next we have a knife, not a spoon, but a knife. But I see you played knifey spoony before. We have a bar spoon, yeah, once or twice. This is for all your stirred cocktails, but bar spoons essential. You know, you don't want to be stirring with a normal spoon. After the bar spoon, we have a Swiss peeler. Now, I like the Swiss peelers because they're shaped like this, very easy to use. Here we have a juicer, a hand juicer. Next we have a muddler, and this is the last of ours. Now, if you're, you know, needing to muddle cucumbers or you know, certain peppers or fruits of some sort, you know, this is what you're using to, you know, get in your tin and
Muddling.
Exactly, muddling to crush the fruit. So this is basically what you need for your home bar. These are the essentials.
So roughly, how many cocktails can you make with just this setup?
I would say with just this setup and a few things in your fridge, you know, fresh fruit, maybe cucumbers, mint, cilantro, get like a little creative, you could definitely make about 30 cocktails, maybe more.
Wow.
30?
30 cocktails,
With
yeah.
5 bottles of booze and some fruit?
Yeah, absolutely. You just gotta learn.
Let's get started.
So what are the 3 main cocktails everybody needs to know that you can make with this setup?
The 3 main cocktails I think that everybody should know is everybody should have 1 stirred cocktail and, you know, a couple shaken cocktails up their sleeve. You know, women tend to not like stirred cocktails as much. I'm not speaking for everybody. I love you ladies that drink whiskey neat. But
It's pretty neat, isn't it?
yeah.
They are rare.
They are rare, but damn, they are fine. So, you know, the shaken cocktails are a little bit easier and more palatable for new drinkers or for drinkers that are not used to classic cocktails. They go down very smooth. You know, sometimes you can't even tell what kind of alcohol is in there.
The gateway drugs.
Yes, exactly, to the great cocktails. Now the 3 I think everybody should learn is a old fashioned, you know, a gimlet, gin gimlet, and a sidecar. These are basically what you need to kind of, you know, impress a few guests. It's not tough. They're not hard drinks to make. They're all you know, 3 or 4 ingredient drinks.
So you said a gimlet, a sidecar, and an old fashioned.
Yeah, gin gimlet, sidecar, and old fashioned.
All right, we're gonna have you teach us how to make those.
Absolutely.
And
Thirsty already.
There we go.
All right, guys. Now this wraps up our home bar essentials. Thank you, Mishka, for showing up.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Remember to like, subscribe, tell us what you would like us to make with these cocktails, tell us what maybe you would make with these, and stay tuned for more videos from us. Thanks.